Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. My name is Caroline, and if you are new, welcome to the fam. But if you are a constant visitor, thank you for being here. I am very grateful for you as a viewer, a follower. Thank you for your support. This is officially the second episode of the rebranding. I know I mentioned in the last episode that I don't know if I wanted to do a rebrand or not for my podcast. I think this is the third time that I've done a rebrand for my podcast and for my kind of channel. But I kind of created a new YouTube channel. I decided that I wanted to start posting on YouTube, and then I made a very basic banner for my YouTube channel along with a picture of myself. And then my podcast is called Me, Myself, and Life, which I think is just genius. I'm very proud of myself for thinking of that name. So Me, Myself, and Life. So if you want to kind of go subscribe, it's on YouTube. And then I also I'm thinking of doing another rebrand on like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, things like that. But that's gonna be another problem of another day. But we are on the second day streak of recording and producing podcasts. I just I was in the midst of editing the last episode, and I was like on the halfway mark, and then I was like, okay, I need to go record. I'm on a very nudge. I don't know what's the word, that nudge. I have been having this instinct to record and to produce, and a synchronicity that I saw when I was like editing the video was that I was editing, it was exactly 1 hour 11 minutes and 11 seconds, so it's like 5 ones, like 1 and I was like, that was crazy. So that's like, an angel number that I've been seeing around a lot. That just kind of signals to me that I'm on the right path and everything, so that's good. So I wanted to do another episode, and this time I want to talk a bit about self-care and just taking care of yourself. And I know that term has been going around for a while, but I feel like because it's been going around for a while, there are just so many different things that I feel like you need to do, or you feel like you need to do. I was listening to a podcast of Self-Obsessed by Tam Core. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but I love her. She's a very, self-care girl boss, self-love to her core. And she actually just published another book. I think it's like buy yourself that damn flowers or something along those lines. And I was listening to her podcast, and she had, what's the other girl's name? Another guest. Her last name is Fernandez. And she was talking about how she felt like there are just so many things circling around on the internet about self-care and self-love, that, you have to do a bubble bath, or you have to do this everything shower in order to feel like you love yourself, or in order to feel like you are taking care of yourself. And she just thought that that's not the genuine definition of self-care. So I want to talk about my version of self-care, and then just kind of giving you a step-by-step guide on what I think you should start if you're at the beginning of your self-care journey or whatever. I feel like this is just a very basic and very, when I mean basic, it's very basic, and you can take these steps and then turn it into something that is very personal to you. A lot of these steps are not something so strict that you cannot kind of work around it. That's not how I work. I want to take something and then make it my own. So this is how I'm gonna structure my pep talk, my TED talk, whatever you want to call it, guide to self-care and self-love. Okay, so taking care of yourself, where do I start? The first step, I think, to any kind of self-care, self-help routine is have basic hygiene. So hygiene is something that I think is critical to self-care, self-help. It doesn't have to be a 11-step skincare routine, a 20 different step kind of showering routine, like an everything shower that you see circling around on TikTok. It just have to be things that you do to take care of yourself. That means showering every single day, making an effort to shower every day, even though you don't feel like it. Brushing your teeth twice a day, washing your face, and really make sure that you are clean, because when you are clean, you feel clean, and that just instantly kind of lifts the mood. So whenever I'm feeling down, or whenever I just, got off of work, I arrived home and I was feeling like, oh, I don't want to shower. But then I was like, I kind of forced myself in a good way to take a shower, to at least take off the makeup, brush my teeth, shower, change into my pajamas, and then instantly after I do all of those steps, I feel 100 times better. So showering and, taking care of your hygiene, it kind of refreshes you in a good way, and that kind of lifts your mood as well. So I do that. I know that some people, they shower in the morning, but I don't shower in the morning. I only wash my face in the morning and then brush my teeth. But I do shower every single night, and that means doing a double cleanse, because I do put on makeup. But I think even if you don't put on makeup, as long as you put on sunscreen, I would recommend having a double cleanse or even a triple cleanse routine set in place. So a double cleanse, for those of you who don't know, it's like cleansing your face twice. So first you go in with an oil cleanse to kind of melt everything that includes your makeup, but also your sunscreen, and kind of melt everything, every impurities, every dirt that you get from going around outside the house. And then you put a bit of water on your face and kind of massage it in. That emulsifies everything, and it turns into this liquid, milky consistency. And then you do that for at least a minute, to that you kind of make sure that you emulsifies everything. Make sure you do that step, because if not, if you go straight in with an oil cleanse and then you wash everything off like right after without emulsifying, that just takes away the benefits of an oil cleanse. Same thing, don't emulsify too long, because that's also can cause pore clogging. So I would go in at least like, a couple of times. I do twice on each of my cheeks, and then do my forehead, do my chin, do my nose. So that would be 10 times approximately. And then I would wash everything off, and then after an oil cleanse, I would go in with a normal cleanser. So depending on your skin type, you can go in with a gel or a foamy cleanser that's for oily, acne prone skin, things like that. And then I would clean that up. Oh, also another alternative for an oil cleanse would be micellar water. Some people even do a triple cleanse, that after they cleanse their face using a normal cleanser, they would go in with micellar water to kind of wipe everything off. So that's a triple cleanse. But I don't do that because I don't feel the need to. But if you want, go ahead. And then that's the oil cleanse. And then I would brush my teeth, things like that. If you want to floss, you can. I don't floss. I feel like I need to get better at it, so I'm gonna start doing it when I come back here after winter break. So that's on basic hygiene. So I do that every single night, religiously. The next step to taking care of yourself is make sure you look presentable every single day. That kind of stems from the hygiene thing, but make sure, if you want to, put on a bit of makeup, or at least brush your hair, and then put on a nice outfit. I've heard on the internet of a 2 out of 3 rule. So makeup, hair, and outfit. So if you're feeling lazy and you don't want to do a whole spiel of, getting ready and then spending an entire hour on just like that, you can make sure you check off 2 out of the 3 things that I mentioned. So either, do your hair and put on a nice outfit, and then just like don't do your makeup, or do your makeup, put on a nice outfit, and then don't do your hair. You get the idea. So you just only have to check off 2 out of the 3 things to make sure that you look presentable. And also, when I say makeup, it's not like you have to put on like full glam and everything. I feel like I used to do that, but I feel like I'm more comfortable with just putting on tinted sunscreen and then a very light layer of foundation. And I mean light I say light because I've just been feeling pretty comfortable in my skin, especially showing a bit of my skin, even though I do have some skin imperfections, but I've been feeling pretty comfortable doing that. So I also don't powder the entire face anymore. I feel like that's not natural. I'm going for a natural look over here. And then I don't even curl my lashes because I don't know how to curl my lashes and put on mascara, so I do want to learn on that. But I would put on some highlighter, a good lipstick. I do a lip tint or lip stain, but and then if it's too dry, I'm gonna put on a lip gloss as well. But you get the spiel. Just pick out a couple products, some non-negotiables that you do have to put on your face to make sure that you look presentable. Some people skip foundation and they do just brows, just eyelashes, just blush, and then they're off to go. But I do have to put on some sort of skin tint or foundation to even out my skin color because I do have acne scars. So do that. That's in terms of makeup. In terms of hair, if you want to put your hair down, make sure it's not oily and greasy. So use a hair shampoo. And then if you want to style your hair, put on some heat protectant. You don't want to fry your hair off. And then if you want to put it on a bun, you can. Just make sure it's not looking like straight out of a bed. You don't do anything to it. At least brush it. And then in terms of outfit, you don't have to go all the way out. You don't have to put on like dress up to the nines. You don't have to do that. Just put on something it's casual and you feel comfortable and confident in. That's the important part. And then figure out what items look good on you. So figure out what your body type is. So I have an inverted triangle body type. So that means that my shoulders are a bit wider than my hips, but I do have a pretty small waist, so that's kind of curving in, but I'm not an hourglass kind of figure. So I figure that tight tops and loose pants look really good on me. But I also have a short torso, so I usually wear tops that hit right above my belly button, and then just kind of wear low-waisted pants. I like that look a lot. So just figuring out what your body type is. I feel like if you can do a quick search on TikTok, it's gonna be like thousands and thousands of tips on how to do that. And then figure out your colors. What colors look good on you? If you are a cool tone or neutral tone or a warm tone, girly, things like that. And then if you want to put on jewelry, you can. I don't like jewelry, or at least for now, I haven't found my staple pieces of jewelry. I'm planning to do a rebrand of my wardrobe, so when I do that, I'm gonna update you guys on that. But for now, I'm just keeping it very simple, and then I'm going back home this winter break, so I'm gonna build my wardrobe when I'm back in my hometown, because I feel like or at least because I haven't found a good store in the US that kind of makes clothes that suits my body type, and I'm a pretty petite girl, so long pants don't fit me. So I need to do that. Another thing that I have in terms of making sure you look presentable is in terms of your posture. So making sure you have great posture. You can just, look yourself in the mirror and then figure out if you have a good posture or not. One thing that can help with good posture is just working out, especially if you do Pilates or yoga or even just lifting weights. I realized that my posture improved tremendously after I worked out. And a good posture just makes you look more confident, even if you don't feel confident. As long as you look confident, people will perceive you to be confident. So that's one thing that I learned. And then another thing is that smile, because I have a resting bitch face. So whenever I'm not being conscious of how my face looks. I look like I'm about to kill somebody, so make sure you don't do that. And then make sure that once again, know yourself. And then that kind of goes back to a lot of spending time with yourself, making sure you figure out what you like, what you enjoy, what you feel confident in, how your face looks like, and how people perceive you to be. So one thing that I've noticed is that just smile and keep eye contact with people, even with strangers. That could be very intimidating at the beginning. That I live in Indiana, and people here are very welcoming and very friendly. Whenever I walk past somebody on the street, they would smile at me. They would, they look very friendly. And so that kind of prompts me to want to be the same to them, and I would smile, and that kind of becomes a habit. And now whenever I meet eye contact with somebody, I would just smile, and I feel very good smiling. And also smiling just makes you feel better. One person on TikTok saying how if the first thing that you do after you wake up is looking yourself in the mirror and smile, that tremendously increases your mood throughout the entire day. So that could be something that you want to implement if you struggle with mood swings, seasonal depressions. I know that we're getting into the winter months, so that could be something that you're dealing with. So that's on making sure you look presentable every day. And then the next tip that I have is start and have a morning routine. If you don't already have a morning routine, make sure you have a morning routine. And that morning routine should be dedicated to taking care of yourself. If you don't already have a morning routine, I would recommend waking up a little bit earlier than you normally would to have that morning routine. So this is where a bit of a hard work and self-shadowing comes into place. So you can wake up a bit early, sit down, have a piece of paper, and then write down what your ideal morning looks like. And then ticking off, what steps you need to take to achieve that kind of ideal morning routine. Does the higher version of yourself put on makeup? What does she do? Does she drink matcha? Does she work out in the morning or whatever? And then have that routine. And then while you're doing your morning routine, you can listen to affirmations or listen to music, whatever music you enjoy, whatever music uplifts you, makes you feel confident. Curate a list or a playlist of music that makes you feel like you're on top of the world. I have that one playlist that I play whenever I'm feeling down or whenever I feel like I'm losing a bit of confidence. I named that to be Bad Bitch Playlist, and I would play that whenever I'm doing my makeup or especially when I'm in the gym. I would play that, and then listening to affirmations, or even if you want to, high frequency music really, really calms me down. Along with having a morning routine, if you want, you can have a night routine as well. So what do you want to do? What does your ideal night routine looks like? Do you journal? Do you meditate? What do you do? Just, personalize it however you want it. That's the beauty of self-care. You get to play around, and then if you don't like something about your routine, change it. So that's the third tip. The fourth tip that I have is work out and move your body just a little bit. It's okay. And then also have a good diet. And then in terms of working out and moving your body, you don't have to hit the gym 5 times a day. That's not the goal. Start out small. Start out with once a week, and then move to twice a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week. And also pick something that you enjoy doing. So if you like to lift weights, go ahead and lift weights. If you like to do yoga, do yoga. If you want to do dance, I think there are dance videos on the internet. I think there's one YouTube creator. Her name is Grow with Joe, and she has great just kind of like dancing to the music workout videos, and they're very fun. And then if you want to do Pilates, walk on the treadmill, run, do that. You just have to move your body for at least 30 minutes a day just to make you feel alive and makes you feel productive. So I feel the most confident whenever I'm working out, and then whenever I'm accomplishing my set, so my workout set, I do all the reps, I feel very good. That's when the dopamine and the serotonin kind of hit. So I feel on top of the world, especially with the music that I'm playing. It makes me feel very confident. So do that. But I've been switching to doing more yoga kind of activities and movements and Pilates as well. I feel like I'm meditating doing yoga. That's why I love it. But I also lift weights as well, especially when it's leg day. I would lift weights. But one thing about working out is that I think you should cycle sync your workout routine with your menstrual cycle. So if you don't already know, I can make an entire episode on this. But your luteal phase is when you are the strongest, or you feel the strongest. So that's when you should lift the most weights, or you do the heaviest exercises. But when you're menstruating, you should resort to yoga, very low, slow movements, walking, but also prioritizing resting. So there are multiple phases in your menstrual cycles, corresponding to different hormones and things like that. So you need to kind of personalize your workout routines to your cycle. And I feel like once I've been doing that, I feel great, and I just don't feel the need to, lift a ton of weights anymore. Another point that I have in terms of working out and moving your body is make sure that you are out in the daylight and you're absorbing that vitamin D from the sun, because studies have shown that vitamin D kind of increase your serotonin, or at least it's involved in increasing the serotonin and just uplifting your mood, things like that. So make sure that you take in your daily dosage of vitamin D. And I know that it could be pretty hard going into the winter months, but you can take vitamin D supplements if you're living in a place where there is not enough sunlight. So you can do that. But also, one thing that I did to kind of evade the negative beliefs that I had about working out is trying to romanticize working out and make it as fun, as aesthetic, as beautiful, as, enjoyable as you need to be. So that means putting on a cute matching workout set, making your own a beautiful looking aesthetic smoothie if you want, or just doing something or working out in a place that looks very beautiful, things like that. So make sure that you romanticize working out. That helps a lot. The fifth step in taking care of yourself and your journey is saying no and spending time with yourself. So make sure that you spend time with yourself to understand what you want in terms of your goals for self-care. Are you doing it for your benefit, or are you doing it because everybody else is doing it? So make sure that you understand the purpose and just your values, right? Get to know yourself. What are your boundaries? What are your red flags? What is your workout style? What is your makeup routine that you want to do? What is your fashion style? And what is your diet? Do you want to be on a high carbs diet? Do you want to be on a carnivore diet? I've learned about that recently on TikTok, about the carnivore diet of people eating steaks and some poultry and some fish and some eggs, but they don't eat vegetables. And that apparently helps with weight loss and help kind of cleansing out your palate. So that could be, a diet that you want to do in the short term, but obviously consult with your doctor, your physician, whatever, before doing that. But the point being, spend enough time with yourself to get to know yourself, because you are the most important person that you have in your life, figuring that out. And then instead of going out with your friends every single day, right? At least say no to one occasion or multiple occasions, and then just spend time with yourself. People don't spend time enough with themselves because they feel like it's boring, but I love spending time with myself. I feel like it's perfect. I enjoy my company, right? And I feel like that's the most powerful thing that you can have. Being in your own company and enjoying that and sitting in silence with yourself is the single-handedly most powerful tool that you can have. That means you can regulate your own emotion. That means you can motivate yourself. That means you can be a self-starter. That means you can do anything. So say no and then spend time with yourself instead. And going along with the saying no aspect of things, if you don't want to go out, hang out with people, if you don't want to go to a place that is pretty crowded, if you're an introvert person like I am, you don't have to say yes. You don't have to feel guilty for being alone at night on your own. That's not any less interesting, or that's not any less cool than being out and about and then just kind of hang out with people. Same thing for extrovert. Even if you're an extrovert person, you don't have to be out and about 24/7. I don't feel like that's gonna do you good in the long run. So make sure you have this balance of spending time and being around other people, but also being with yourself, which is very important. And I feel like getting to know yourself is a huge part of your self-care journey. So start finding activities that you can do alone at night, or at home. It doesn't have to be night. You can take yourself out for a solo date. It can be buying yourself the damn flowers. It can be learning how to do your own nails and then doing it at home to save money. It can be going grocery shopping on yourself. It can be romanticizing your life. It can be anything. As long as you are present, you enjoy it, and you see the benefits of spending time with yourself, I feel like you're gonna start enjoying and actually wanting to spend time with yourself more. The last tip that I have for your self-care journey is be disciplined and have small rewards along the way. So I know that keeping up with your self-care journey can be a hard thing, and it is not a linear kind of situation. It is very much an ups and down, a concave, many fluctuations whatsoever along your self-care journey. But as long as you are disciplined, as long as you know that you're doing this for your own good, especially in terms of working out and diet, that could be especially daunting and hard in a society where people just eat fast food and processed food. There's nothing wrong with eating processed foods as long as you have balance and you are consuming it on a moderate basis. I feel like I got frustrated multiple times during my self-care journey because I feel like I've been working on this self-limiting belief for so long, but I still haven't gotten over it. And I feel frustrated, I feel hopeless even. But that's the point that you have to fight for yourself. That's like the time that you should fight the hardest, and the times that you have to be the most disciplined, and reminding yourself that it is okay to rest and you should take a step back and see how far you've come, but you cannot give up on yourself, right? You are the only person that you have. So be disciplined on that regard and know that you are not alone in feeling frustrated. I can make an episode on how to get out of a rut because I've been feeling that coming, especially in the winter months. So I can make an episode on that, but be disciplined and remind yourself that it is okay to feel frustrated with yourself, but that's not an excuse to give up. And then have small rewards along the way. That could be another potential solution to that frustration and that kind of feeling hopeless. Have rewards. So if there is a self-care goal that you are able to overcome, for example, you've made the goal of working out 3 times a week for the next 3 months. If you are able to accomplish that, and also give yourself some slack, it doesn't have to be so rigid and so strict, right? It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be easy. So even if you kind of slack on working out, once or twice in that period, cut yourself some slack, give yourself some grace, right? And have something to look forward to. So let's say, if I'm able to accomplish that goal, I'm gonna buy myself Wingstop, whatever. I'm gonna treat myself to a solo date. I'm gonna buy myself a new book that I've been craving, or I'm gonna buy myself a new makeup product that I've been eyeing for a while. So have small rewards. It doesn't have to be some huge grand thing, but make sure that you have that as something to look forward to. So I think that should be a very good and basic kind of steps that I did. And I feel like if you take these steps, and if you're at the beginning of your self-care journey, these steps can prove to be very beneficial as long as you be disciplined. And then another aspect of self-care that I didn't touch on is working with your shadow part. Every person has, some good qualities, but also some traumas, some wounds, some problems that I need to work through. That's called the shadow part of yourself. So doing shadow work can be another great aspect of your self-care journey. That is an entire episode on its own, so I can do another episode later, but that's something to look forward to, as we just talked about having small rewards. So after you listen to this podcast episode, reward yourself with something, because you being here is doing yourself a great service, and you are taking the first step and of taking care of yourself, and that is worth complimenting, and that's worth congratulating and celebrating. So after this, go make yourself a matcha or a boba. I was just having boba milk tea earlier, and I just, it was delicious. Or take yourself on a walk. Right where I live, it is currently, sun setting, and it's looking very cozy, even though it's freezing outside. But if you want to, put on some Gossip Girl or some Gilmore Girls and binge watch an episode, whatever, just like have some reward for yourself, because you being here is amazing, and I'm so grateful that you've decided to take this first step out of the many steps to take care of yourself and to prove to yourself that you are worth the care and the love and the dedication and the hard work and the support. And you will be the person giving yourself that support and that love and that patience. And then I want to end this episode on one final note, is be patient with yourself. I know this can be a pretty challenging and daunting task. It's not a task, but it's, a journey. So, and when I mean a journey, I mean a journey of many ups and downs, as we just talked about. So be patient with yourself and remind yourself that you have come so far and you are so good, and I'm very proud of you for doing this for yourself. And just be patient. And patience is something that is very valuable, not only for other people but for yourself as well. So be patient. And that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoy listening to me ranting and venting and rambling on self-care. This is something that is very passionate and very, very special to me, because I've been dealing with this journey on myself for the past 6 years since I was in high school. So I want to be a person, or I want to make this podcast a community, a safe space for people to talk, for me to talk as well. I really enjoy talking about this. I don't care if I have views or not, but I feel like talking about these topics is something that I'm supposed to do. And even though I know that there are so many topics out there already about the same niche of self-care. I feel like I have something unique to say because my experiences are very unique and different from their own experiences. So I just want to give out my guide to where to start on your self-care journey, and I hope you are benefiting from these tips that I just mentioned. As always, thank you for listening. I really appreciate your support, and hopefully I can see you very soon. And I'm very proud of myself for being very consistent on this creating, podcasting, content creation journey. And I hope that you can also be patient with me as long as I'm figuring out this all on myself, the time management and everything. But I will hopefully see you very soon with another episode on the Me, Myself, and Life podcast. And until then, bye bye.